My name is Father Nicanor Austriaco, and I'm a professor of biology and of theology here at Providence College. And it's my great pleasure to introduce you to the readings for today, the third Sunday of Advent as we prepare for the coming of the Lord. Now, if you look at those readings, what you're going to notice is that there's a lot of emphasis on patience. This is not surprising because Advent is a time of waiting. And we are called at this time to wait for the Lord. But as I tell my students here at PC, the gospel is first and foremost a love letter from God. And it tells us something about who God is. And so what I'd like to consider this today, as I reflect upon these readings, is how God is waiting for us. And that the Advent season is a time for us to be challenged by that. The fact that God has been waiting for us for, thousands of years. It took him millions of years to bring human beings to life through a wonderful creative process of evolution. And it took him many, many more generations, many, many more thousands of years for him to come as a man in Jesus Christ to reveal his great love for us. And so he's incredibly patient. Now, this should be a source of reassurance for us and great hope, because so many of us find ourselves wandering away from the Lord. The great parable of mercy in Luke's gospel, parable of the prodigal son, shows this to us. If you remember that very famous story, the youngest son goes off to a foreign country. He goes off and he squanders all of his money, and he ends up finding himself amongst the pigs, basically sleeping in the mud. And yet in a moment of grace, he realizes that he has to return home. He has to go back to his father. And so he stands up. He goes back, and there's a wonderful line in sacred scripture. It says, while he was far away, his father caught sight of him. And I've always taken that as a great sign of God's patience. Because here the father has been waiting for his son. Just imagine the picture. His father, every single morning, he comes out of his house and he scans the horizon and he's waiting for his son and he's going, is my son coming home today? And he goes back as the sun sets and says, no, not today. And then finally, on this day, when his son returns home, he sees his son in the distance and he runs. And I think in this time of Advent, you and I should consider the reality that God runs to us. He runs to us as soon as we turn to him. And all we have to do, like the prodigal son, is to look at him, to say, Father, I need you. I love you. I have been waiting for you all my life. And the response to that, of course, is that he has been waiting for us much longer. And so in this time of Advent, when we are waiting for God, when we are waiting for God to return in this time of Christmas, as well as we anticipate the future coming, the return of the Lord, which will come in his own good time, we are challenged to remember that God has been waiting for us. And he waits for us even today. He waits for you. He waits for me. All we are asked to do is to turn once again in this time of hope, in this time of love, in this time of peace, and say, Father, I come to you once again. Teach me and show me how much you love me. God bless you and have a Merry Christmas.